says you could have been anyone in the world, but you're here with me. And I appreciate that. Take it easy. All right, so today we're going to learn about fueling for performance. Because truthfully, if you look at the pyramid for CrossFit, the bottom of that pyramid is your nutrition. So we're going to focus on all about fueling and how that's going to help you perform better, not just even in a gym setting, but just in life in general. Because everything we do outside the gym, we do in the gym, basically. So, all right. So what I want you to think about right now is, what are you thinking about getting out of this, okay? What are you trying to improve with your performance? Are you trying to run faster? Trying to lift heavier? Are you trying to be able to breathe a little bit better while you're working out? These are all the things that we're going to try to touch on when it comes to fueling for performance, because it all ties hand in hand to how you perform when you work out, okay? So I think actually on your page, that first part, basically what I want to talk about. I went too far actually. There we go. Alright, so we want to think about how nutrition, stress, sleep, exercise, your support system, and lifestyle all kind of helps you perform better, okay? Because even in our nutrition program, we talk about a holistic approach and how we want to keep things simple, okay? So something that's fundamental in nutrition should not be complicated. It should be very simple, a very simple process. And that's what we want to think about when we're talking about everything that we got going on in life. Because everything that we do outside the gym impacts what we do in the gym. Okay? So, whether that's your habits that you do on the outside gym, your support system, your sleep, stress, and nutrition, all that stuff impacts your performance. Okay? So, as we're going through this whole process, I really want you to think about, okay, I only spend an hour inside here. What I do out here is going to help benefit me while I'm in here to get the most out of this hour that I spend inside. So the importance of fueling, okay? Our food is our energy. That is the biggest thing that we can take away. There's a lot of things that you would hear from, like, eat this way, eat that way, don't eat this much, don't eat that much. But essentially when it all boils down to it, our food is our energy source. And if you're not getting any energy, you're not going to be able to perform. So when we're talking about fueling, we want to think about, okay, how much am I eating? What am I eating? Why am I eating it? Like, what is this actually doing for me? Is it quality food? These are all good questions that we can think about as we're going through the process on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so we may be training for a specific thing, but we still got to get there, right? So we have to train our bodies how to eat, to actually go with that, and to match that training with our nutrition. Okay? So it's important to actually realize that sometimes when you're in the gym, you hit that wall and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do nothing else. Why is that? Could it be because you're not doing properly for that workout? Could be because you also didn't get enough sleep. Could be too. But one of the things that we're going to focus on is how to properly fuel yourself today. This is what we're going to focus on today, how to properly fuel yourself so that when you get to that part in that workout where you typically like, can't take another step. God, I can't do another burpee. Goodness, I can't do another box jump. You can overcome that because you're properly fueled for that.
It's on the ceiling. It's the ceiling. No, it's not them. It's the ceiling. They're fine.
So what we're going to focus on just right in the next couple of slides is we're going to focus on energy levels, your hydration, recovery, and even your mental and mindset of how you think about things when it comes to working out, how that impacts your body. All right, so energy. Hey, I know that lady. That actually happened, what was that, at the race last year?
Yeah, the hip hop, whatever.
Hop sweat.
Sweat. Mm-hmm.
Switch, swatch. 5K. So that happened last year. That's Lisa. So carb nutrition is again basically just the fuel that you need to get through anything. Not just necessarily workouts, but jobs, like kids. You need that. You need to properly fuel yourself in order to get through all that stuff in life. And yes, that does mean consuming carbohydrates. It does, because carbs are not the enemy. They're actually your main fuel source, and your body's preferred fuel source for working out and high intensity and exercise. So we're gonna focus on a little bit of some of those good carbs that you can actually intake pre, during, and post to get the most out of your workout. So some of the simple carbs that you can think about, fruit. Like that's pretty simple. You got food back there. It automatically.
It's a bird or something. They're walking on this thing right here. That's why. That's what we're hearing.
So we got food back there. Why? Because that's a good fuel source. That's something that you can get into your body. It's pretty quick energy that can help you get through even the toughest stretch of life. All right. So you also can think of sport strength. We'll get into a little bit into that a little bit later. But sport strength are also something that's beneficial from a hydration standpoint. But most of them also have some simple sugars in there as well for your body to use while you're working out. Not necessarily throughout the whole day. Some of the more complex carbs that we use, oatmeal, rice, potatoes, those kind of things. Those are really, really good for, again, high intensity exercises. Typically what we do in CrossFit. So you can almost train the way that you eat around when you work out in order to actually help you get the most out of your workout. So we'll get into that too later. So basically by understanding how your body is fueled, you can almost eliminate that fear of, oh God, I can't eat carbs. Because carbs are the enemy right now. They're actually really, really beneficial for you. If you do them right. Okay? Recovery. You're only as good as your recovery is. Okay? Whenever we do a workout in the gym, right? We put our bodies to some really stressful environments, some really high impact things. We do a lot of lifting, a lot of jumping, a lot of running, a lot of rowing. We do all these things, right? If you're not recovering, next time you come in, you're going to be a little bit slower. And then if you're not recovering, you're going to be a little bit slower. And then a little slower. And it continues to trickle on as you go through with it because you're not properly recovering. Well, the best way to recover is giving your body the energy to recover. So what is energy? It's food. So in order to recover from workouts, you do need food. Food is a very, very critical component for recovery. Also sleep, but if you're talking about food, we're going to talk about food much later. Alright, cool. Hydration. I have no idea what it's like. But it looks nice. It's great. Never mind, anyways. Alright, but hydration. Did you know that 20% of your performance can be impacted by being dehydrated? Yeah. Like, seriously. That is a big, big component of how you perform in the gym. 20% of your performance can be impacted by being dehydrated. So if you come in underhydrated, you can expect to do worse in the workout, honestly. It's really important because our muscles, they need hydration, they need water, they need fluid. Our blood is mainly made of water. So if we don't have enough water in our system, the blood's not going to get to where it needs to go and it's going to impact our performance. So hydration is very important. Again, the mental side of it. Okay. We talked about this a little bit when we did the Are You Eating Enough nutrition talk. And basically, if you're not mentally sharp outside the gym, what makes you think you're going to do that? And sometimes when you're under eating, that can also mess up your cognitive functions. So when you come in the gym, maybe you're not as sharp, or maybe you're not as, I can't get on that snatch as quick. Oh man, I can't, it's not, it just doesn't feel right. You're not as sharp as you typically are. That's probably because you're not fueling properly for performance. Again, not necessarily just even inside the gym, but outside the gym. Okay? So, very important, very important. So now we're going to talk about what it looks like when you're not moving properly. Okay? So again, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, you hit that wall in a workout where you just can't do anymore. It's like, you almost got to sit down and stop for a little bit because I just don't have the energy to do it. That's one of those signs and symptoms of maybe I'm not feeling right for my workouts. Maybe I ate a little bit too late and now the food is not being used properly. Or maybe I didn't eat quite enough, or maybe I just didn't have enough carbs. These are all things, again, that will impact your performance. Even when it comes to recovery, when it comes to like injury, right? So again, you need to eat in order to recover. And in order to recover, that's going to help your muscles be better for the next round, right? So if your muscles aren't better, that leads to injury. So, okay, that leads to injury. It really does. So it all comes back to, am I properly fueled for this workout, and am I fueling properly to recover from this workout so the next time it goes around, I'm good, I'm ready, I'm able to do everything I need to do with the energy that I need for it to do. Okay? And also, this is when it comes to the injury part of it. They did a study, the National Journal of Strength and Conditioning, they did a study on under-eating protein and how it impacts your injuries. Because protein is there to help build and repair the muscles that we break down in workout. So if you're also under-eating a protein, that means your muscles are really not repairing themselves. So that is another reason why we put a primary focus on that protein piece, because it's really important, especially for what we do here at this gym. Okay? I can't speak for other people in other gyms, but what we do here, it's really important to get that protein in, because it's going to help repair the muscles so that we don't get injured. Okay? Because we don't want to do that. That's boring. That's not good. Alright? Alright, so I'll pause right here because I don't like everybody sitting down. Can't stand it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 minutes. I want you to write down, or if you haven't already, I want you to write down what your goal is as far as fixing and improving your performance. And we're going to walk around and share it and just do some other stuff. Yes, Cherise, go run 5K with Coach Keith. Cherise, you going to run 5K? What? Alright, so as soon as you finish, I want you to stand up for me. Stand up real quick. Stand up. Please. You done?
I asked but I said I didn't.
What is that? What is
Yes.
that? I can't comprehend. I'm sorry. I'm very slow.
No, that's okay. So basically, it's talking about the connection between all these things.
Like what I do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you do. Run 5K push you. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm getting my stretches when I feel like running. But
It's his body type. My husband looks like he runs too, but he's just not. He's a max mile.
all right, everybody done? All right, let's stand up. Don't like people sit down. It's the most, it's the death of human beings. All right, so before we share it, what we're going to do is we're going to push your hips forward. Push those hip flexors. Pick up back, you're going to lean forward. We're gonna slowly come back up. We're gonna put one leg behind. Push the hip forward again. It's I'm gonna lean forward again. Keep the legs split. Alright, come back up and switch legs. It's good. It's alright. I'm gonna lean forward. And if you are able to, give me 5 squats. I like squats. What?
If you did something with a box today.
Cherise. You're good. I say 5. All right, cool. We're gonna share a little bit. So find a person that's sitting right behind you. Oh, in front of you.
Yes! Hey, what's up?
And share that goal with the person in front of you and behind you. There you go. There you go.
I'm here to
What is that one? What is?
Share your goal.
Oh, well, mine is just keep breathing. It's like, you know, have a really good breathing.
I want to run on the street and I want to do regular.
That's mine. You notice that when you sleep.
And he'll get to this part. But I guess
So I think that would be mine to keep my pace in breathing.
All right.
that's all I did.
All right. Once you're done, you can get back rolling.
And it made the difference. I noticed that getting so out of it.
All right, we are good. You're done.
Sure.
We got fruit over there. All right, speaking of oranges, carb loading. So we're gonna go over 3 tips next. That's kind of healthy. It's Ganesh. Ganesh with Parmesan. It's like cream, like cheddar sauce. Yeah. Sometimes you can, so I'm making new. So it's basically potato pasta. Yeah, it's just potato pasta. Yeah, so and basically you just use a little device to kind of make it. Anyway, yeah, you can, yeah. All right, I can go down the whole thing, homemade pasta.
You know what I was reading? The yuca is like a root.
Mm-hmm.
It has more benefit than potato.
It's probably good.
I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
It don't
very-
taste, yeah, it doesn't taste like potato.
I'm trying. We
Oh, yes,
that we use a lot of yuca and
it's more. It definitely is. But you gotta get used to that taste.
yeah.
It's something to get.
Like my son say the same.
All right. So how many of you all ever heard of carb loading? Show of hands. Ever heard of carb loading?
Yeah, but what do you mean?
It's really big in endurance. In the endurance world, so anybody who's doing a lot of running will typically do a lot of carb loading right before a race or something like that. They got a 5K, 10K, half marathon. They'll carb load in order to have enough carbs or energy sources in their body to help them get the workout. Or if it's a longer run. So when we're thinking about carb loading, it's basically taking 3 to 5 days, maybe even more, depending on what you're doing, to actually train your body on how to load and store carbohydrates. Okay, so that when you're in the midst of a longer workout, like say an hour plus workout, you're able to use that energy that's still stored in your body. But the biggest thing that I go back to when it comes to carb loading, it's not a quick thing, okay? It's not like, oh, let me just load up on carbs one day and I'm good. No, it takes a little bit of time because your stomach is a muscle and it needs to be trained how to do the things that you want it to do. It's like your liver and your lungs and your heart and your biceps are all muscles and you have to train them to do the things that we want them to do. So if you just automatically go in there and you say, hey, I'm gonna carb load for 2 days, your performance may not be what you think it is because your body may not produce that amount. So sometimes, even when training for a marathon, not necessarily not training for a marathon, but marathon runners will put their nutrition as part of their training protocol in order to help build them up to where they need to be for the race versus let me just do this thing a couple days before and expect it to work. Because that's, you're going to end up having some stomach issues. I'm going any deeper than that when it comes to it. But basically what we're trying to do again is load up on carbohydrates. Because again, carbohydrates are a fuel source. They're our main primary energy source when we're working out. And it's a reason why you'll see runners or CrossFit athletes or anybody eating a lot of rice, a lot of pasta, a lot of potatoes, drinking plenty of like electrolytes and things like that with sugar in it because you need that to help sustain your energy throughout long bouts of exercise. Thankfully, in this setting, we don't necessarily need it. We can pretty much be good with a more balanced diet than anything, and it can help. But nutrition is something to play around with. But so if you want to improve your performance, maybe tinker with the timing of when you eat, which we'll go into a little bit here in a second too. But for the most part, when we think about carb loading, we want to think about, okay, where is this being stored in our body? Okay? I didn't want to necessarily get too sciencey with this, but glycogen storage is basically what our body uses the body stores the carbohydrates. Okay? So basically, when you eat a carbohydrate, it breaks down to glycogen. Glycogen then is stored inside our liver and inside our muscles, so that our body is ready to use it when it's needed. Because those are the primary things that drive. Whenever you bend your arms, you're using carbs. Okay? And you're using glycogen to do that. All right? Whenever you walk, you're using glycogen to keep it going. Okay? 'Cause that's what our muscles use to move. So I don't want to get too sciencey with it. I can't keep the light, but let's go. So I'm gonna go on to the next tip, which is tip number 2: pre-workout meals. All right. I will share with you all my pre-workout meal. It's not healthy, I'll tell you that, but it's something that my body is trained to actually use in order to be more better with my performance inside the gym. Okay. So I will have a complete cookie, like the little Millennium Larry complete cookies, and a protein drink. Okay. It's a ton of protein, ton of carbs, a little bit of fat. Okay. But what I'm trying to do is load up my body with carbohydrates so that when I'm here and I'm trying to do my workout, I have the energy and the fuel in order to get through. That may not be what works best for you, and this is why, again, we tinker with these things. But what I do want to talk about when it comes to that is you want something pretty good in protein, like chicken and something like that. You want some carbohydrates, of course, with the potato, the bread, or the cherry tomatoes, or fruit, or something like that. You want to minimize the amount of fiber and fats. Okay? So when we talk about fiber and fats, this is not necessarily what we want in a pre-workout. Why? I'm glad you asked. Because fats are naturally slower when it comes to digestion. And when you're in the midst of a workout, you're doing 10,000 burpees, do you want something to be still there? No. You want something that's quick, get into your body, so that your body can actually use it. That's not good. Yes. It's too slow, it doesn't move fast enough, Now, if you were running an hour,
I was
okay,
doing that.
you may be all right in projecting some form of fast because again, they take a little bit longer to break down. But for the most part, we want to stick to carbs and protein. As far as timing goes, this is again something you can play around with. If you're more balanced of a diet, when you talk about having protein, carbs, and fats, you eat anywhere between 2 to 3 hours before your workout, and then basically, I got you.
It's 2 hours,
Yeah.
I feel like my food come out.
So maybe a little bit longer, a little bit. Like so, 3 hours will be 2 to 3 hours is a good window to kind of help you with making sure the food is down for one, and that it's still there for you to use during the workout.
Even you work out in the morning? Shaggy's supposed to be getting
That's
that.
what I'm getting to.
I was like 5, 6 o'clock.
That's what I'm getting to.
Right, exactly.
So if you are working out in the morning, your best bet, honestly, if I was to say, outside of going fasted, is some type of fruit, i.e. banana, or
No banana.
berries or something like that that are very, very fast get into your system.
Banana's baby.
It's from,
Yeah. Look for process. Yeah, I will grow it. I have, yeah, I do everything.
So
Because of the whole.
I get that just a second. But if you work out in the morning, some type of fruit, some type of protein. Yeah, shakes work better because you don't have to think about it. You just
What
sit
if
it in.
you did a shake before, but you normally do a shake after? You're gonna get to the after.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get to the altitude, but essentially there's nothing wrong with doing both. Okay. You definitely want to fuel your body to make sure that you have the energy, but also if your body is really used to that, there's nothing wrong with not doing it either. If your body is used to it, now is it optimal? Maybe not. And again, it's something we can tinker with. Like it's something that you may have to do for about 2 to 3 weeks to see how your body adjusts over time. And give it a little bit of time too, if you start to incorporate some of these pre-workout meals into it. Because your body takes a little bit of time to get adjusted to what you're doing. Alright? Because if you've gone 30 years without eating before, and now you start to incorporate eating before, your body's not used to that. So
You will feel it.
you'll feel it, but you still have to give it a little bit of time.
Say 30.
Oh, I'm talking about myself. I've been working out since I was 8. But again, you want to give your body a little bit of time to get adjusted to what you're doing for it.
Yeah, I got 10 years on you.
It's okay. It's okay. We're not talking about age here, okay? Alright, so again, something simple as like, okay, let me just do, if you're working out in the afternoon, afternoons, this is why I work out in the afternoon. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I can't do the morning thing. But it gives my body enough time to get enough food into the system. It kind of works better for me. But if you work out in the morning, that's fine. You can still try to train your body how to accept food going in early so that you can perform better throughout your workout and then start the recovery process.
And how early? Because mine is possible. Like, I mean,
maybe start with half a banana, not a whole banana.
I'm telling you.
Apple.
The apples have too much fiber, right? Piece of berries.
Very good.
Blueberries, strawberries.
I mean, you can do an apple. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just simply we want to minimize. I wouldn't say go out and buy a Fiber One bar. that's
Right, you
They taste good.
So I mean, that's the type of fiber that I'm talking about. It's like something that is high fibers, like I want to say, you know, anything like vegetables that are more fiber is like.
Yeah, I guess. Only the green leafy vegetables are gonna be higher.
Yeah, higher, yeah.
But yeah, 'cause they're
So
gonna
don't eat celery. and come in.
I can tell in my smoothies. So what?
So-
Do it opposite.
Carol Anderson. Okay, that's a good idea.
All right, so
Broccoli.
broccoli. Okay, there you go. So those kind of things maybe stay away from, but we want to definitely make sure that we get some type of food or any protein, some type of protein. Well, that's even turkey or something like that. It's pretty lean, not hard on the body, and also you can eat that a little bit of it. Okay.
I can tell you Archie keeps a pack of turkey in the refrigerator. That's his turkey meat and melons. That's his workout.
I thought melons were so hard.
But
Mostly water.
they're mainly water,
water.
right? But you need the hydration part, right? And you also need the sugar, right?
Sugar carbs.
I only eat watermelon.
All right, so we kind of hit on this a little bit. Again, I'm not sure why this picture is there. It's a great picture though, but anyways. But
It's after his workout.
so when we talk about fueling and nauseous, being nauseous, okay, that is a real thing, okay. So whenever you feel that, okay, I need just a little bit earlier than what I did because you probably had a little too soon. But again, this is something you can train your body to accept and overcome. Because I'll be honest with you, I probably eat 30 minutes before I work out. But my body is used to that because I do that every day I work out. So you can train your stomach to be able to accept food, hold it in there, and actually distribute it throughout your body in order to get the most out of the workout. Okay? But it comes with training. It comes with training your body how to do that, training your stomach. And just like we train our muscles, we have to train our organs. Okay? So if you feel some nauseous things going on, maybe push it back a little bit, like as far as like you eat, and then see how that play around with time at that point in time. All right. Step number 3. Hydration. Hydration. Especially now, because it be hot up here. Okay? It don't matter if it's morning or night. It don't even matter. It be hot up in here. Okay? So we want to make sure that we're hydrated. Because guess what? The water does. Body temperature down. Sometimes we really stop because we're overheated. Because we're not properly hydrated.
That's in menopause, don't it?
Oh. Well, on that note. But when we're thinking about hydration, we want to think about throughout the day, okay? It's not just simply, oh, let me drink before I start working out. I want to hydrate throughout the whole day so that my body can be ready for when I work out and also start the
Can I
recovery
bring
process.
some electrolyte before the workout?
I'll get to that. Give me a minute to get to that. That's a great question. But when it comes to how much water, okay, so we're thinking about maybe 24 ounces, maybe an hour or two before you work out, about 8 to 10 ounces during your workout actually to kind of keep your especially now, it's been time.
You said 8 to 10 while you're working out?
It depends. It really depends. But a general rule of thumb is a cup. A little over a cup while you're working out. And that's just to kind of keep everything down. If you feel like you need more, I'm not going to tell you to not drink more water because you're sweating, you're exerting yourself. The body temperature is going up, your heart rate is going up, everything's going up. So you want to make sure that your body is good and ready to go. And even while you're working out, it's still there to do what it needs to do. All right, and keep everything down. The last thing you want to do is get too high. You're going to stop. That's a lot of the problems, especially when it gets to the summertime. You stop because it's just too high. So make sure that you're hydrating before, anywhere between 16 to 24 ounces. During, anywhere between 8 to 10 ounces, and even more if you needed to. And then afterwards, that's when we can talk about the electrolytes and everything. So as you're working out, you're sweating, right? You're losing a lot of stuff, a lot of minerals, a lot of things that are in your body that you need. This is where the electrolytes come into play. Okay. I typically do not recommend drinking Gatorade all day. Okay, it's not designed for that. It's designed to be had during and after a workout when you need to replenish what's going on in your body.
During, one time I tried doing it during,
Just,
and it messed
yeah,
up
yeah,
my-
yeah.
It was very loud.
Yeah. And again, that's something you have to train. So if you're better with it afterwards, for sure have it afterwards. But that initially it basically starts to replenish the electrolytes in your body that you're losing while sweating.
So before, like 40 minutes before.
As far as electrolytes,
Yeah.
go after. Just drink that. Just better than that.
You can't put it in your, I put it in my water and drink it during my workout.
But she's saying like it messes.
It made
Yeah. So
That's for me. Well, the beginning, so I'm start doing it.
yeah.
Maybe I will try and see one time.
Or even truthfully, one of the things that I kind of play around with too is I'll have majority of water, maybe
Oh,
just
yes.
a little bit,
Just
just a little dab of
Yes, I
it in
do
there,
that.
just to kind of get a little bit of sugar, a little bit of electrolytes, and play with the brown, that kind of stuff. Again, this whole performance thing is not an absolute science to it. It's all about finding out what works best for you and what helps you optimize your performance. Okay. All right. So when it comes to hydration, I want to make sure that we're hydrated not just before the workout, but throughout the whole day. But more importantly, when it comes to performance, we want to make sure that we're starting to drink at least 16 to 24 ounces 2 hours before the workout. Have some during the workout, and then electrolytes or water afterwards.
When you work out at 5, you have to be up for
At that point in time, we just drinking water once you get up. As soon as you get up, that's water. All right, so again, when it comes back to hydration, again, I know that person. That's a great picture. But when it comes to hydration, the reason why it's so important, again, our muscles need fluids. Our body needs water for blood. Our body needs water to help us keep our temperature down, especially as we're doing things that are designed to get the temperature up. Okay? Because the more we can keep our temperature down, guess what? The better we can breathe. The better we can breathe, guess what? The better we perform. Yeah, so all these things connect. The better you perform, guess what? The faster you get your results. So it all starts with some of these little simple things like, okay, am I drinking enough water? Am I hydrated? Am I fuel properly? Because all those things really play into how we do in the gym and also outside the gym. Yes. When in doubt, bring your medicine. All right. Alcohol. Okay. Alcohol. Alcohol causes your body to lose more fluids, more electrolytes, and more of everything. So it very much so it dehydrates you a lot. Okay, which is why you drink one drink.
That's
water.
what I was wondering why I don't, how you say, before I used to drink 1-2 beers, and 1 beer every night before we went out, because I want to relax. Now I see it and I don't break it.
That's good.
No, not at all. And I feel it because I exercise every
Yeah,
day.
exactly.
It's interesting, and like, nobody say it, it's just common.
So when it comes to performance, I will tell you this. Like I'll give you firsthand experience when it comes to alcohol and performance. Okay. All right. So way back when, story time. Way back when I was at an older gym, that's not even open anymore. No, it was when I first started CrossFit, so it's about 12 years. So we had a nice little party. Everybody got completely done, right? It was done. We were done. To the point, To the point where shouldn't have drove home. I did, but anyways, that's beside the point. Okay, but next day came back to because I had a coach and I did the workout beforehand. That workout did not go all that well. I was actually dehydrated. I didn't have any energy. I didn't have anything. And all you saw was just foul. Okay. Anyways, that's beside the point. The point is, alcohol and performance do not go hand in hand. Okay? I'm not telling you not to drink, because we're adults here, most of us.
We used to have bourbon afterwards.
But what I am saying is, when you do drink, expect performance to be down, okay? Because you're not properly hydrated.
So like say Sunday I go out and drink one margarita or one beer. On Monday I'm feeling, I say, oh, what's wrong with me? And I just keep coming in my mind like, oh, that's a beer leader. I'm like, oh.
Yep. All right, so we're done with that. When it comes to the plate method, this is actually a cool design to show you how to differentiate the plate method. So typically the plate method would be half a plate full of vegetables, quarter starch, quarter protein. Okay, when we're eating for performance, you need a little bit more of these things here. Okay, because those are energy. It's an energy source. So when you think about when and timing and all that good stuff, you still want to have a good bit of protein. Maybe you don't need as many vegetables. Again, go a little bit higher in fiber. It's going to slow you down a little bit more. But we definitely want to bump that down. All right, and fats are always off to the side because for performance, you don't necessarily need them. I would say that's more so just in general, just having a balanced meal. But again, if we're working out for performance and we're eating for performance, our meals should be slightly different from your regular day. And again, this is something that you can have 2 to 4 hours before your workout, and it'll give you all the energy that you need to perform while you're working out. So, not if you work out in the morning. That's trees. That's too much to be had. I don't understand why not.
Chicken or broccoli?
I don't understand why. All right, so we still want to put an emphasis on eating whole foods, okay? Again, all these things on here grow naturally from the earth. They're not man-made outside of man planting seed and growing themselves. Okay? So we still want to put an emphasis on whole foods. Those are wild caught.
Okay.
So as we're eating this type of way, again, put emphasis on real whole food and not necessarily ultra processed. Again, what I do for my pre-workout, it's not because it's probably better, but it works for me based on my time that I have.
You're right.
All right, so we're pretty much done. So this trophy is there because it's the finish. So a couple things that we want to bring back to the highlight. Again, carbs are not bad. Okay, we want to do more whole food sources as far as carbs, so like fruits, oatmeal, rice, potatoes, those kind of things. We want to stick to those. I wouldn't necessarily say go out and get a whole bunch of donuts. Like, hey, Coach, you said I can have carbs. You know, quality doesn't matter, but we want to realize that. No comment. All right. No comment. But we want to understand that carbs are very important when it comes to performance. And it's pretty hard to perform as optimal as you can if you don't have any carbs in the system. Okay? I want to focus on, again, hydration. Hydrate. Make sure that you're properly hydrated. And afterwards, okay, we can start the process of recovery by hydration and what we eat. Okay? Because again, after we have that meal, that's that plate method kind of thing that's designed for athletes and performance, everything else goes back. Okay, so we go back to the half my plate full of vegetables, quarter starch, quarter protein. Okay, and that's how we start the recovery process, giving our body what it needs to repair itself and to replace all the things that we lost while working out. Yes.
So for you worry about but also not just one person coffee.
Yeah.
Or you kind of salary. Like is there like a preferred kind of period of the preferred kind of really versus
No, so when it comes to coffee and tea and things like that, if you're used to it, you're perfectly fine, like drinking it, but you still want to incorporate water on top of that too. So I wouldn't take it away, or it's not going to it'll slightly impact like your hydration level, because coffee is a diuretic, so it pulls water out of your body. But when it comes down to it, if you enjoy it, great. And just have water with it.
I drink coffee, that's my pre-workout when I come to the morning run. That's the weird thing that I do and it works for me.
I know a lot of people that
Yeah.
Because caffeine is probably one of the best pre-workout supplements that you can get. More natural. As long as you're not putting a whole bunch of stuff in there, it's more natural than any scoop that you can put into your body. So caffeine is really good.
I will do it. Sometimes.
Did that answer your question? All right, so and the last thing that we want to focus on is basically when in doubt, it's okay to eat. It's perfectly fine. Yes, we want better quality food for sure, and the quality that we put into our system is going to impact our performance. But when in doubt, have something to eat. Be fine. Come work out, have a blast, have fun, and make yourself better. Yeah. No, well. Yeah, I'm helping better. I would pancake that. Anyways.
You gotta ask for show that stuff. Don't be playing like that.
Oh, I'll give you this one more minute. Does sleep affect my performance?
Yes.
Hell yes. Not just yes, but hell yes.
If anybody knows of a good pillow, my $110 pillows are better. I need a good one.
But yes, sleep does impact not only your performance, but your recovery. Because your body recovers while you're sleeping. Okay? So make sure that you're getting hopefully anywhere between 6 to 8 hours. If you get more than that, that's great. But if you can get 7, that's kind of that. But 6 is okay. You can function, it just won't be optimal. 7 is 7 and 8. You're in a good way. So
Your brain works like part of my problem is not shutting my brain off. So the magnesium is always Archie told me to take the list.
yeah, because zinc is a transporter of magnesium. So it gets to you.
But in order for the immune system better to actually also have that.
Yeah, because there are electrolytes and all that. Great. But for the most part, zinc is a transporter. More so than anything.
When I take this thing, it gives me more allergy. I'm open to allergy. I don't know, for some reason. I'll find out.
That's interesting. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
it is.
Because I do my knitting and then I'm starting to get in it is so much react by that allergy. I'm like,
Because when you get COVID, it's one of the worst things.
I know. But you know what? When I make it, one day I make it like, I buy the packet and make it liquids. And I like blackberry, blueberry with spice. I make it my own. And I think the one I cook is much better.
Oh, really?
It don't give me any allergy. With the feel, yes.
So maybe it depends on the quality
Yeah,
of
the
the
quality of
Because
that matters.
there's only certain brands that I buy.
So make sure you get enough sleep, hydration, and don't be afraid of carbs, especially before you work out and after. Okay. All right, so that's all I got. Do we have any questions? Any more questions?
I'm getting ready to go here, okay.
Brian, you good?
So what kind of car is better for not making baby noise? My favorite, because I like cars. I like white. That's my grandmother's white. And I noticed that I can run good when I go out of
So, but you still, like, I'm not saying go out and get a whole potato or eat the whole potato. Like, just do like half a potato. Fine, clean it up.
like maybe less for the car.
Yeah, so, what, at my house,
Or it's the gym when you very big, you very big.
okay. So at my house, we eat a lot of potatoes, like sweet potatoes, rice, not too much rice, a little bit of rice. Obviously bread, because I make bread, you know. But outside of that, that's pretty much our standard. So potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice. As far as like starchy carbs, though, we do eat a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
I don't eat a lot of.
It's no vegetable that I don't like. I eat all vegetable. I like all vegetables, whatever vegetable. I'm good with that. But this not orange.
Well, my husband is not. My family is very good cook. It's easier when they're, when they go to the club. They're
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, that's awesome that we have this. Thank you guys. I learned too. I keep learning more and more.
Cool. Sweet, you good?
I'm gonna try to take up this whole breakfast in the morning.
What are you gonna do?